Well, tell me about your relationship with your aunt when you were growing up. What sort of aunt was she?
Well, I can always remember her being a spiritual person,
Mhm.
honestly, always involved in the church. And from the time I was 13, I really remember a lot more about my Aunt Barbara because she used to take care of us during the summers when we would come home from Colorado. And we would stay with her, and so we would go to church with her. And I just remember I was raised Catholic, but I remember being in this different setting. It was a different type of church, and it was a little overwhelming at times, but it was a new experience for me. And my aunt was a disciplinarian. She was but she was also fun. You know, my sister and I, we learned to sew with my aunt. We were Girl Scouts, but we got the sewing badge and things. But with my aunt, we actually sewed outfits that summer. We sewed ourselves a short set. She thought it was important that we learned the basics, and I treasure that because to this day I can hem a pants, I can sew buttons. I don't have to go to a seamstress to do these things. My aunt has always been someone that I've admired. She has so many qualities. She exudes grace and just her overwhelming sense of caring for people. Sometimes you may not be sure because she may be a disciplinarian about things, but deep down it's because she cares. She values education, and that was another thing that I admire about her. I went to BU, and I remember during that college process, I was living in Colorado, didn't know anything about what I was supposed to be doing. But when came to Massachusetts the summer before I started college, I was so grateful that I had her to talk to and figure things out because although I had selected my courses, I didn't know what was going to be happening, the expectations, and having her there and having that opportunity to talk to her about what was going on, that was so helpful.
What does she like to do for fun?
Mm. She loves to travel, to be honest with you. Anytime she doesn't do it as often as I know she would like, but I think now during her retirement, that's one of the things that she's going to take up. I don't know how much she'd like to travel outside of the country, but she's told me before that she wants to drive across country. And she's done it halfway when she drove us from Massachusetts to Colorado several times back in the 80s. But I know there are many places in the United States that she'd like to visit, like the Grand Canyon. That's one of the things, and I told her I would love to go. And she's great in that she'll travel by herself. You know, she'll welcome someone too, but she's also happy to travel by herself too. Yeah, she's a phenomenal woman. I can't say it enough. I'm so proud to be her niece. I I could only aspire to be as great as she is. You know.
Good.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think? What do you hear that she has meant in the Wareham community?
Well, I know a lot of people respect her. I've come to several of the Martin Luther King breakfasts, and I just not with people not knowing that I'm her family, just singing her praises and how awesome she is and how she's brought the club to a next level by joining it with the national and just all of the fundraising things that she's done in order to make improvements on the programming. Um, she cares a lot. She cares a lot, not only about the club, but just people in general. She has that type of heart. As Cape Verdean, our Cape Verdean culture, she's also very giving in that way. Also, she's involved in, I believe, the Onset Cape Verdean Festival, doing volunteer work with them, or I don't know if it's with them or with the association, but I know our heritage is very important to us. This past New Year's, we just resurrected a tradition that they had done when they were little. I don't recall doing it at all because my mom said it was really when they were younger. Called Cantares, where you go from home to home and giving a blessing or a song to a family. Our family, so we selected 7 families, and there were 9 of us that went from home to home, and she was right there with us, along with other members of the family. So it was an extended family type of thing, but it's a new tradition that we are, resurrecting in our family. So, yeah.
It sounds like family has always been very important to her.
Oh, most definitely. First and foremost, the family is priority. God is number one, and then the family. I believe that is how she sees it. And next are the children of the world. She has a big heart for them, and she wants to help as many as she can in the ways, whatever ways that she can do that. She knows her boundaries too. She's very good about knowing that, and this probably comes from her background of the counseling, but it also over time being around people and knowing that it can be draining, but you have to be able to feed your own spirit as well in order to make sure that you don't deplete what you have. Yeah.
Do you think she'll miss working?
I think a little bit. I think as the interaction with the youth, with the parents, with others. But I don't think it'll be a sorrowful thing. It's, she's really looking forward to this next step in her life. It's a new journey for her, and I think she's very excited about all the possibilities that it brings. So, yeah.
Has she expressed any hopes for the Boys and Girls Club going forward?
To be honest with you, I haven't spoke with her on that aspect, really about what she's going to be doing in the future. And like I said, I know the travel was one of the things. I know she had been working on a teen room or a teen center there, and I think it would be wonderful to see that, come to fruition this year. I don't know the extent of it. She's talked to me a little bit about it, but we tried.
Yeah, if you just start off with, I understand she's interested in seeing this teen center.
Okay. I understand that she's interested in seeing a teen center being developed at the Boys and Girls Club, and I think that would be one of the things that she's going to really try to see through to fruition. Yeah. I don't, excuse me. I really, I don't know really what else to say, but that's basically.
You said a lot of wonderful things that we can use many of, I know. Are there any funny, quirky things about her? Any just brief little things that people would recognize in her? Is she famous for funny things?
My aunt has a contagious laugh. When she finds something funny, it is a belly laugh, it is a heartful laugh, and it's joyous. It's really a blessing when anyone laughs in general, but that's one thing. When I see her laugh and her face just lights up, it brings a sparkle to my eye.
That's great. That's great. So tell me a little bit about your grandmother.
She's great. She's probably one of the best women that I know. She knows, I always joke with her, she knows everything. She knows any question that you could possibly ask her, she knows the answer to. And if she doesn't, she'll make it up, and you'll believe her. She's pretty much been like a mother to me my whole life. I'm her first grandchild, so I'm her favorite. Who are you?
When people always ask me about my grandmother, I joke and say that she's God's 13th disciple. And everybody laughs, but it's true. She's really easy to talk to. She has a very good perspectives on the world, so I've always been able to go to her. She's been my little counselor, especially in junior high, that awkward transition.
You can tell her anything.
Yeah, anything,
you can
really.
I tell her everything and anything. And she gives you just really honest, and she doesn't talk down to you just because you're a kid. She's very easy to talk to. helps anybody in any possible way that she can. Anybody. My grandmother is gone at 7 in the morning and doesn't come home till sometimes later than me. She has more of a life than I do, and I'm
True.
23. So she's great. She's perfect. I think.
That's good stuff. We'll definitely get bunches of quotes from that. How about, do you know anything about her job and about what she does? Does she ever talk about?
I
her
worked
work?
with her for, when she started the club, she started working at the club. I was a sophomore. So I started working, I was about 16 that summer. And I worked straight until I started college. So she taught me everything I needed to know about working, about, the way to talk to somebody. I've never not gotten a job because of her. Every job that I filled out an application for, I've got because she taught me how to work. She's very dedicated to everything that she does. She wakes up at the club pretty much and goes to sleep at the club. Like, that's her life right now, and she's done a great job. I've seen so many kids come out of there and use her as a role model and a mentor, and she does great over there.
Okay. Grandma's always really talked about the job, any job that she's ever had. For me, it's been really useful when going to college because my parents don't really know like all the information you need to, not only getting into college, but once you're in college. And she used to do work at UMass Dartmouth in admissions, so she's been really like helpful in that whole process. Even now when I'm there, she has worked with a lot of college students, so she can still relate to like what I'm going through. And at the club, I used to go there because I was in, I think, 7th grade.
Oh, okay.
I was in 7th grade when she started working there. So I grew up with some of the kids that are now using her as a role model. And she's always been a role model to me because, she's Graham. But, yeah, I used to volunteer for her, like at the dances and stuff.
How do you think she'll do in retirement?
I know that. I know that she's
isn't really
yeah.
isn't like a real word.
She's excited, to have some downtime, but I don't feel like she's gonna know what to do with downtime. I know she's gonna do some type of part-time something, but she's busy. She always has something to do, so it's not really like she's just gonna be home. I mean, we probably won't even see her as much. It's gonna be the same thing. I'm sure of it, but I don't know. I think she's gonna be missed. I think she's gonna miss it more than she realizes too. Like, she was telling me the other day that she had so much work to do, but she spent most of her time on the basketball court with the kids because she has something like 20 days left, and she's been there. I mean, I'm 23 now, so what, 8 years maybe? 7, 8 years I think she's done over there. So it's definitely gonna be a change for the kids because she added so much structure there. So much structure. Like, when I first started, it was her first year, so it was getting everything together. But from then until now, I don't know what they're gonna do without her.
Graham's really never been a person. She's not like the grandmother to like sit home and like knit sweaters on a rocking chair. She's really like more active than I think most people I know.
She's more active than I am.
Yeah. Retirement isn't really, I think, gonna be retirement. She's always gonna be doing something. It's helping somebody out, some part-time, because that's just, I don't know, what she loves.
How is she as a great grandma?
It's funny, because I tell her all the time, like, I've never seen her really with a baby. So when she's with him, the first thing she does when she walks through the door is wash her hands so she can pick him up. And the other day, he was up early, and she took him for me so I could sleep for a little while. But it's funny, she talks to him, and he talks back, and he tries to grab her glasses off her face, and they're cute. It's fun to see her with, because I don't remember, she took me everywhere. Trips to New York, Springfield, Six Flags, and it's weird to see them together, but it's funny.
She seems like a spiritual person.
Oh, definitely.
She made me, I used to love going to church because of her. I used to go every Sunday. I was ready before anybody else. Now it's a little bit different because I have him. But she's there. She's at the club and at church more than she's home. She runs the children ministries. So she spends a lot of time with that, but she knows everything that you could ask her any verse of any chapter of the Bible and she can quote it for you. I tell you, like she's right. She's 13th disciple. She knows everything.
I remember one time I had watched a scary movie with my dad, and her apartment is upstairs from us. And I'm going to bed, and I hear like all these noises, and I'm really like freaking out because I'm like, I just watched a scary movie. And then I started like listening to it, and she was like, her tapes were going. Like she listens to different tapes about everything. And it was funny because it went from her window to mine, and she's just, very spiritual.
What does she do for fun?
Oh, I think her fun is, helping out with other people, and I know that she has a lot of friends in Florida, so she travels out there when she has a chance. She's a walker. I think she does the canal in the summertime. Anything exercise, if she has time to do, she likes to get out and do stuff like that. But when she has free time, she's taken one, I think, what is there, 7 of us grandchildren?
Yeah.
She's taken some of us somewhere, the younger ones she just took my sister Tori, who is 10, to Cake Boss. So she's always doing stuff like that because she has a great-grandchild in New York. So she stayed with us for a while, and my grandmother drove her back to New York and made a couple detours, and that's her fun, spending time with us, I think.
I think also her work is fun for her. I think she gets a lot of enjoyment helping other people, and I think that's how she just keeps on going, is like she really just loves what she does, in and outside of the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, you're right.
That's good. A lot of good stuff. She's obviously been a very important person in your life.
Oh, yeah,
Most
definitely.
definitely.
She's that go-to person. You call her for anything. Whether it's a question, whether you need help, anything. She's there.
She's just very in touch, I think, with everything going on and everything around her. So it's very easy to talk to her about, I feel comfortable going to her with like boy problems or just like regular, I'm 18 years old, and like the fact that I can still connect with her, and she gives me, sometimes when you talk to like your elders, they're kind of like, you're like, oh yes, okay, yeah, they should court you. But Graham really teaches us how to be respectful and to be respected, and just everything, that we'd ever need to know, really.
That's great. I think, and you could probably talk about her all day long.
Yeah.
But what we're looking for is, maybe a minute or a minute and a half to you two together, and I'm sure we've got some great stuff there.
Oh, good.
You'll be there on Saturday night?
Yes, I think so.
Saturday afternoon? evening?
Yes.
Terrific. Yeah, it should be a great event for her. I'm sure she knows about it by now. Do you know if she knows
I
about
think there was a situation where surprise wasn't written on the invitation.
it? No, it wasn't. And we figured there was no way to keep it quiet.
So somebody called her, so she found out.
Okay.
So-
That really makes it a little easier though for her.
But I don't think I don't know that she wants everybody to know that she knows. We kind of found out through the grapevine. So she doesn't know that we know that she knows.
Okay.
But I don't know if she's going to pretend to be surprised. I don't know what she's going to do.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be difficult to replace her, that's for sure.
I don't know. Like, how do you hold an interview to Graham's standards? Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's other people just as great as her, but not really.
Well, Barbara Sullivan is one of those most incredible women that you could probably ever meet because of her wonderful personality and great with people. She's a people connector, and Barbara always is looking for opportunities to reach out with other people and connect them on a day-to-day basis. And I have had a great opportunity over 20 years ago to meet Barbara in a local church, the Onset Foursquare Church, where I pastor, and Barbara was an inspiration to me back then as a young believer coming into church. She led Bible studies, and and watching her teach and sitting under her teaching helped me to grow to be a young man of God and grow up to be today a pastor because of some of those connections with her. She's fun-loving, an exhorter, a stickler to the rules. Barbara is a stickler. She believes in decency. She believes in order, in the purpose of fulfillment for everyone, for safety for everyone. So Barbara's great like that.
Well, what sort of work does she do in the parish, other than obviously making all these great connections?
Barbara right now helps lead our children's ministry. Over the last several years, Barbara has led a powerful children's ministry, helping the kids to learn the Word of God. So she teaches them the Word of God, but also practical ways how to live the Word of God out every day in their life. So it's not just about learning something, but it's being able to apply that. And Barbara's been able to integrate the Word of God and life itself with the kids, and so the kids can leave church on a Sunday morning and be able to help that. She also helps the church on the church council. So she has a influential role in helping the church's vision to be fulfilled and watching the management of the finances and everything. She does a wonderful job for us there.
What are some qualities that Barbara has that make her good in her role with children?
She's caring. I would look at Barbara as a true mother who really cares for the heart of children. And I think today sometimes that gets overlooked, of the essence of the life of people. And Barbara's able to do that with children and be able to really look at what they need and to help them be successful. She's always focusing everyone back to how to be successful in their life and avenues and pathways to do that. And she's reached out in many ways to do that, from the youngest of kids in our church to the teenagers, to help them get ready for college, and some of the young men and young women of our church also, in helping them to find jobs and to fit in society somewhere where sometimes you don't think you can quite make it. You know, Barbara's been very successful helping the underachiever to become an achiever and to make them very successful. I know that she's run a few programs out there with the Boys and Girls Clubs to help the kids of the school to see other avenues of life and prepare life. So she's done many, things like that with the kids to help them do it.
Terrific. You said she was fun-loving.
Yes. Barbara is a lot of fun. When you get to know Barbara, who she is, she's a lot of fun to be around because of her wisdom and understanding of life. So I think at first appearance, sometimes someone would say she's not. But when you get to know her, she really has a heart that cares and is genuine. She's truly a genuine person. What you see is really what you get in the sense of when you really get to see somebody's heart. Not read what their busyness, but when you really get down to the life. So she's fun. She likes to go out and enjoy life and be together. And so I've been able to, travel with Barbara and be with Barbara. So we've always had a good time, drinking coffee and sitting around a table and fellowshipping on a daily basis has always been great.
She seems to have a real spiritual side.
Yes. Barbara is very connected to her Lord, Lord Jesus Christ in her life for many, many years. Being involved with the Foursquare denomination, her other church affiliations, Barbara and her saving grace for the many, many years that she has come to know God in a way that has helped her and impact her to stay focused and live that out and care. As our God cares for us, Barbara cares for others. As our God leads us, that Barbara leads others to live in that same way and say that same aspiration. She's always evangelizing and reaching out to people to let them know the opportunities that when you live a life that's spiritual in the things of God, your life definitely changes for the better. And it's a key component to people's lives if they fulfill these spiritual aspects of their life, that they can continue to grow. And Barbara always helps all of us to experience that. She's done a great job.
She seems like a community-wide leader. She seems to be in everything.
Yes, Barbara is a community connector. Barbara is always up to date on whatever's going on in the community here in Wareham and in the city of New Bedford and wherever she goes. She seems to know all the information and the details that are necessary to connect people. We as a local church have used her wisdom and her connections to help us to be able to reconnect to our community in a healthy way that would draw the community and the local church together so that we could collaboratively help our community. I think Wareham is one of those unique towns that we're, as a community in itself, are always looking for ways to help people. Wareham does that. It's not just the churches, the schools. I've worked in, helped in some of the school system stuff, and they're always helping families that are down and out and need gifts during the Christmas season, people who need food. We're always looking at ways to do that. As a community, we have a heart that is reaching, and Barbara has a great part in doing that, of reaching the community in that way. So she's helped the local church to do that, and she's helped a lot of, I think, local businesses. I remember when Barack Obama came into presidency, he had that put into plan how to connect kids with local jobs. And Barbara jumped right on board with that and try to get businesses to get involved so that these kids could have summer jobs and help them to understand that, hey, good ethics of work. So Barbara always seems to find these things all over the place to be able to help other people, whether to connect in their lives. It was great.
How do you think she'll manage being retired?
I don't think she'll manage well. I think Barbara's going to do something and continue to do something till the day she finds her maker. She is very impactful, and a woman like that, I don't think you'd ever stop her from living out what is in her DNA. I would call it her DNA. It's in her soul. So it's kind of hard to stop someone. I think she is retiring for a moment to refocus in life, but she'll be still connected with the Boys and Girls Club. She'll be still connected with her community and some way plug in, because that's who she is. And there's no way of stopping who you are. And we know that God uses you for who you are until that last day. So I know that she really isn't retired, even though they give you that label of retirement.
That's terrific.
Yes.
How did you come to be here?
I think our first introduction probably was around when she came in as part of meeting local stakeholders, since the school system works with youth as well as the Boys and Girls Club, the YMCA, and so forth. I think she went out of her way to kind of meet us. And right behind the Boys and Girls Club is the junior senior high school, which is the cooperative school, which is our alternative program. And there was need for us to ask Barbara to use some space in the building. And so we've done some cooperative things that way because of the space and the proximity of the two programs. And I think that's probably how I began to recognize Barbara's ability to work with the at-risk population, children who are challenged, that have a lot of challenges for their success. And she has worked with that group. She demands a level of respect, proper language, but keeps working with them, even if they sometimes fall back to old habits. And so just with the fact that she worked with some of our students being in that building during the day, as well as the Martin Luther King breakfast, which when I was the middle school principal here in town, we actually, in fact, the honoree for this year, Darcy Fernandez, I hired and was a teacher at the middle school. And it was her idea to begin the Martin Luther King breakfast. And we had it at the middle school. But when I was no longer the principal and Darcy left to go to another school system, it kind of dissipated and stopped. And Barbara had a thought that this would be a great thing to begin again. And so we put together a combined committee between the schools and the Boys and Girls Club with the help of the YMCA and the Makepeace group and the local church group to work together to celebrate Dr. King's life, but particularly those characteristics that we want our youth to aspire to. Everybody's aware that there's much too much violence on the streets, portrayed on television and movies.